DM, developing musicianship online.
Hello and welcome to DM Online. Today I'm going to deal with one of the challenges of notators, that being drum charts. Writing for drummers poses a lot of different problems because some of the components of a drum kit are generally using upward beams and other parts using low or downward facing beams. This is in order to allow the drummer to look at the music and make sense of what is being asked. So in order to do that, you need to do a voice 1 and voice 2 scenario on your chart. Now today I'm going to address how to do this in Musescore, and next time comparatively I will address how to do it in Sibelius. In my own personal experience, it is actually considerably easier on Sibelius. However, both pieces of software do offer the ability to do that. So let's get into it. First of all, I'd like to share with you a brilliant diagram that I was sent on social media. I would love to give credit to whoever came up with it because it's quite brilliant. It gestures visually how the score is broken down into the different drum components, including your tom-toms, your floor bass drum, the snare drum, the hi-hat and the crash and ride. So basically the placement of all of your notation should wind up with this diagram in the same location on the stave. So let's see how to do that in Musescore. First thing you want to do is add drums to your chart. So press I for instrument and you'll find in percussion unpitched the drum set. We don't need the piano, so that can be removed from the score, and we go OK. Now we have a drum chart with the drum clef and everything looks good. So now you need to pick on the note palette the quarter note or whatever size note you want, and you're going to choose the drum component you want from the toolbar that now appears at the bottom of the page. Now you'll see that the kick drum is in green, and when we place it, let's say we want 4 beats of kick drum, every time you click it's only going to go on kick drum. So even if you choose a different note, it's still only going to give you kick drum. Then we might put snare on 2 and 4. Now the thing is, snare is blue, it's a voice 1 note. So at the moment we have not broken up the rest into quarter notes, so no matter what we do, the snare is going to land on the first beat and break the rest up. We'll correct that in a second. Let's just put quarter notes on every beat. Okay, but really I only want quarter notes on the first and the second and the fourth, so I click the rest where I want the rest, and now I've got snare drum on 2 and 4. Now I'm going to do a standard rock beat, so I would like the hi-hat on beat 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. So you choose the hi-hat, which is there, and away we go. Now you'll see that my snare drum went and moved itself for no apparent reason. I'll get to my issues with this program when I go to Sibelius, because this is one of the problems I've found with this particular program, is drum charts are particularly difficult. They don't behave the way they should. So you may find yourself fiddling around trying to get the drums to sit where you want them. Okay. So I've fiddled, and now we have a standard rock beat. Now the thing about writing any drum charts is copy and paste is kind of your friend. So you want to make sure whenever you've got a working drum part that you copy and paste. Let's say you want to modify it, just remove the bits you don't want. Perhaps you want to make it a disco beat, so you want 16ths instead of 8th notes. So you'll just go through and change it to 16ths along. See that again the snare drum just shifted itself without me actually asking it to move, and for no apparent reason. So I'm going to have to go and trigger in the snare drum once I fix up my hi-hat part. So there's the snare drum, and we have a 16-beat disco beat. And that's all there is to it, except for one more thing. That is, if you're going to write drum charts, don't just write the notation, but also include the repeat bars. And you'll find the repeat bars, but unfortunately, you're going to have to do a little bit of a swim around in your palette. Under repeats and jumps, you'll find the repeat last bar, and if you drag that in, you'll find you've got yourself a repeat. As far as numbering the repeats go, you are probably, I don't know of a way to automatically number. You would have to physically add your numbers to your charts afterwards using the plain text mode. So I was going to text, going to save text, dragging it over, and then writing the number that the drum is up to for that pattern, such as 2, and then drag it to where you want it. Once you got 1, you can just copy it and paste it. Now, a drummer's probably not going to want to see numbers every single pattern, so you're better off just putting it every 4 if it's a 4-bar pattern. Okay, so that's how to create drums in Musescore. A little bit clunky, not particularly smooth and friendly if you ask me, and to be quite honest, I would prefer the snare drum to be sitting down here in the second voice. And if you want to do it that way, you can, but you just have to manually do it because that pad down the bottom has been designed to stick the snare drum into the upward facing beams instead of the lower facing beams. Personally, I find this easier to read. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for joining me, and up along next time to the same equivalent that I'll do in Sibelius, and you're going to see just how much quicker and easier it is. Okay, till then, bye bye.
DM, developing musicianship online.